The strikes in Russia are extremely worrying. Whether these are by the Ukraine or they are a false flag designed to draw us or pity me response from Europe and the West for Mr. Putin. And, the point is he has form. We remember what happened with the block of flats that brought him to power all those years ago. This man is not afraid to kill his own to make a point. And he was brought to power defeating terrorism by attacking innocents, by killing vulnerable people as well, his own people. And I'm sure he doesn't hesitate to do it again. Now, we now know that a town inside Russia has been hit for the third time, and apparently 5 people have been killed in Luhansk village. We also know that drones, 25 apparently, sailed over Moscow, across Rublyovka, and in the direction of the center. People that I knew, a drone literally fell in their backyard. Now Putin is rather sanguine about it. Also, as well, the anti-drone artillery worked, but only just. And what's extraordinary is that these drones got so far, which makes me think they didn't come from Ukraine. And there are many candidates who could have set off those drones. Now, where they were bought from, again, God knows. But there's plenty of disgruntled individuals across Russia, not just in Ukraine, who would like to see off Mr. Putin. Now, the reasons are varied. In some cases, they want to see him off because they don't think he's tough enough with Ukraine. In some cases, they want to see him off because they think he's too tough and that he should never have invaded. So there's a very, very small group of people who support exactly what he's doing. There's the people who are resisting conscription. There's the people whose children have been killed and whose bodies have not been returned and who are under a pall of silence because it suits the country and the Kremlin position to not to tell people and not to let this news out that so many Russians are dying in this futile and pointless war. For what? But I think it will be very bad if Putin can get across the idea that the missiles that we have provided in the West to Ukraine are being used to attack Russia. That is worrying. That is worrying, and that may well be the aim of a lot of these stories. Whether indeed Ukraine really is attacking Russia, if it is attacking Russia, it's being very foolish and it's putting us all in danger. If other people are attacking Russia on behalf of Ukraine, that is equally foolish, but it's still possible that this is a false flag. I was talking with a Russian friend about an hour ago, and he said that he thought the false flag idea, though it's put out quite a lot, is very difficult to accept. Moscow has a sort of saintly aura, and it would be very, very difficult for President Putin to attack Moscow, even under a false flag. But you think of those drones across the Kremlin. They can't have come from Ukraine. And I don't think these drones in Rublyovka, it's the fact that they went into Rublyovka. That's where Putin lives. That's where the rich oligarchs live. I remember going there many times to teach. And you get into a black car and you get taken mile after mile outside the main city of Moscow, and then suddenly there's all these boarded areas and everything is sort of boarded out in green, and there's guards every 100 yards, and you have to keep stopping and be waved through. And you sit in the back of this car and you think, I have no idea where I'm going, what I'm doing, why I'm going. And then finally you turn into some little gate in this in this endless parade of green wall. And that gate is also guarded, and there's dogs, and you go in, and suddenly there's a little dacha in its own little forest. And each of these places is much the same. Little dacha, little country house made of wood. Often there's more than one country house in the same plot, as the family simply reproduce their country house again and again and again, and the children live in their own little country house, and the grandparents live in their own little country house, and they all live on the same plot. And the dog has his own little country house, and the guards have their own little country house, and the tractor has its own little country house, and they all have kitchens, most of which are not equipped. And they're all identical little country houses. This is how it works in rich Russia. And it's madness. And I know, I've been there many times. And each time I'm horrified when I realize I'm going to Rublyovka. Oh God, who am I going to see now? And you're completely trapped. There's no way out of these places. You can't go for a walk. You'll be up against the guards, and you've got goodness knows how many miles of centrified road to negotiate, all covered in green hoarding. And at one point I remember, there were photographs of me for a school that had got hold of my photograph somehow, and it was promoting at school with my photograph. And there I was coming into a Rublyovka, and there were my photographs. And those photographs, I think, were taken for the Tatler. I was a little younger, so it was quite nice to see this vision of me when I was about 10 years younger, teaching in, I think, Jesus College in Oxford. But it was a lie. It was a lie. I wasn't teaching for the college that was promoting itself with my photo in Rublyovka. And I think they assumed nobody will see it. He won't know. There I was. Rublyovka. Now, the fact that the drones flew into Rublyovka or flew through Rublyovka, I can't believe that Putin would attack his secret palace, his secret home. Can't believe it. Maybe that was the flight path, but I find that unimaginable. Anything can go wrong. A missile can fall out of the sky onto Putin's home. That isn't believable. So I think when you look at it carefully, I think the drone attack the other day must have been by a group based in Russia, out to intimidate Putin. It doesn't take much.